No, your eyes do not deceive you. There aren't two triple wrecks. One of them's triple wrecker. It was just a little minor little detail. But anyway, let me start off by saying I didn't really initially plan this commentary per se, but I kind of like it popped into my mind. I don't really plan much of anything. I don't have like a fancy little script or anything. I read it before I do my little commentaries. Nothing professional like that. I just do it kind of on the spot. But I kind of thought about doing a commentary about raging and such because I just got done 100%ing Batman Arkham City. Excellent game, by the way. I recommend anyone who's remotely interested in that game to play it and check it out. But I mean, I was kind of getting a little pissed. I was, raging because I was trying to do the DLC. The platinum itself wasn't that hard, but the DLC, like, you have to do these dumb challenges, and then after that, you do the campaigns, which are basically the challenges you already did, but in like I don't know, like a package of 3, and you have to use negative boosters during the challenges. Now, like, it's really stupid. You're doing the same damn challenges you did with negative boosters, and like 3 of them is like I said, it's really stupid. I was getting pissed. I was getting a little impatient. And when we talk about raging, one thing I have to say about me personally is I generally get more pissed when I play like single player games than multiplayer games. Some people might find that a bit odd because, like, in essence, when you really think of it, I'm basically raging at the TV myself or something. Like, who am I raging at, like, honestly? But I honestly just get really upset. Just simply because, like, when I play like single player games, I usually like start questioning, like, who designed this, who thought this was a good idea, who thought this would be fun, and stuff like that. I get really pissed and like really trivial shit. For example, when I played God of War 3 on Chaos Mode, like, I didn't even have to do it. Like, it's not even part of the platinum, but I did it anyway for like strange nerdy bragging rights. And I got really pissed because some parts were incredibly difficult. You die in like 1 or 2 hits, and I honestly have no idea how I did it. And even back in the older school days with like Contra and like the old DMCs and Ninja Gaidens, like, I would play those games. I love them, but I would get so pissed, and like I was basically just raging at the TV. I was like questioning who made these games, like why did they decide to make it so difficult? And I was just find it funny looking back and thinking about why I'd get so pissed at single player games. It's just I kind of expect like a certain level of degree of like logic, and when my logic is blown, I start blaming a bunch of shit. It's really stupid and funny when I think about it. I actually thought about doing like a little rage taj, and most of it, if I did rage taj of me, would probably just be me raging at single player games. So that isn't to say, of course, I don't rage multiplayer games. I definitely do. I've definitely said my fair share of shit when it comes to online gaming. But when it comes to online gaming, I kind of expect all the bullshit. Whereas, like, for example, the Uncharted community, this might be your first foray into the online multiplayer experience. It might not be, but it wasn't for me. And I've kind of been used to, like, the way people act, the way people play. Like, I expect people to exploit just about everything. I expect people to play cheap. I expect, just about every level of douchery and like profanity to come out of your mouth. Like, it doesn't really surprise me, though I have been shocked, as of late. That isn't to say I haven't like experienced some pretty humorous shit. That always surprises me. Like I said, online to me, I view it as a jungle. It's a jungle out there. Like, you never know what you're gonna fucking run into when it comes to the online multiplayer space. So like I said, I can't really get that mad because I pretty much expect the worst per se when it comes to online gaming. Whereas single player, I guess I don't really expect that as much or to the same level. But I mean, I've definitely cut people some new assholes. Like I've said some pretty ridiculous shit. I've gotten pretty mad. And if you were to ask me if I regret saying any of that shit, I would tell you a resounding no. I definitely don't. Like I said, it's all fair game when it comes to the online multiplayer space. It's a free-for-all out there. It's a jungle. People say shit left and right. And if I don't really know these people or per se, I don't really care. It doesn't really affect me. I guess it's a little like rude, to have that certain, like, I don't know, feeling because of your own anonymity when it comes to online. But like I said, I don't really care. People have done the same shit to me, and I don't really see like the big deal about it. If you're playing online, you should pretty much expect this by now, and if not, you're probably pretty new to online gaming in general. But like I said, I don't really see why people have this, like, I don't know, negative feel towards raging, whereas, my bizarre, unique single-player raging, like, when it comes to the online, multiplayer competitive aspect to it, when you play anything competitively, emotions run high, you get pretty, into it, and you get mad and shit. It's not just with games either. Like, I feel like people, like, feel, I don't know, talk down about raging at games because, like, oh, it's supposed to be for fun and shit, but it's a game, yeah, but you get invested in it, you get upset when, like, you die or something happens, or you find something, like, irritating. It's the same thing with sports. I mean, sports are just a game too, but people get really invested in it when their favorite team lose or when they lose. They get genuinely upset. Is there anything wrong with that? And I honestly don't think there is. Just like there's no reason for you really to get mad, to like really look down upon, like, I don't know, raging in an online competitive game, like just competitive multiplayer or whatever. I really don't see why people look down upon it per se. I think it's more or less because, like, oh well, you take the game seriously. It's supposed to be for fun. Like, if you can take just about anything seriously, and if you're invested enough in it, you'll get pissed. I really don't see like really the issue with that. But people have a strange perspective on it. I think it's because, I don't know, when you think of raging, you think of like some like kid or some like grown man in his basement like going off and shit. And that's not always the case per se. I'm not saying there aren't cases like that, but I think there's just this negative stereotypes of what people are and raging and stuff. And honestly, me personally, I've actually played with certain people just to hear them rage because it was that amusing to me. And right there, triple reg using situational. I mean, I know I did a commentary already on situational awareness, but I definitely would get pissed in Uncharted 2 when I played against people who use situational. Not so much because they were using situational, because when I think about it, I couldn't really blame them for using something that overpowered and effective. But usually, how situational users wind up playing, like, it's usually irritating. It usually pissed me off, and I'm sure it pissed a lot of people off. Same with Uncharted 3 with all the, exploits and mechanics, the overpowered weapons, and people abusing it. But like I said, I usually expect that with online games or single player games. I think I just get pissed at just about any little thing that stumps me per se. It's just some childish shit. But I don't really feel like you should be ashamed if you rage or anything. I don't think it's really an issue per se. Like some people are like, oh, you have problems, you get mad at games. I don't really feel that way because people get mad, when their favorite team loses. They get mad when like they like do poor at job or something, disappointed or whatever. And obviously, raging is a more like severe case of disappointment, I guess, or getting really pissed or anger or whatever. But the point is, I don't really see like why people look down on raging, and I don't really think it's a bad thing. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think of raging and that aspect of the game, getting really, emotionally invested in that shit. Leave your thoughts and comments on your experiences with raging and what you really feel about it in general. And that's about it for this commentary, and I'll see you guys later.